What is going on, YouTubeverse? John Stanek from Johnny Radio here, bringing you another Top 5 on this glorious Top 5 Friday. The first, well, technically, I guess the second Top 5 of 2021. Last week was the Top 5 most anticipated artists of the year, but now we are getting into the 1980s. We're going to be talking 80s throughout this year, and man, I'm excited about that because really, in the past few years, I've been listening to a lot more 80s music than I ever have in my whole life. Maybe it's a nostalgia thing. That was my growing up years. I was born in 1978, so psyched to get into it. This is the top 5 songs of 1980. Here we go. At number 5... Don't Ask Me Why by Billy Joel from his album Glass Houses, which actually had a couple other songs I was thinking of putting on this list. Really strong album by Billy Joel at the time. And, you know, really the 80s, he was just at the top of his game. Of course, he started back in the mid 70s, but by this time he was just exploring different musical territories. This song in particular, the lead instrument is actually an acoustic guitar, which was different for him. And then it has kind of a Latin flamenco vibe to it. Even the piano solo that he does follows that kind of style. And it really is cool and upbeat and just a happy song. Whenever I hear it, I'm like, yes, man, Billy Joel is just one of the greatest artists of all time. And this just reminds you every time you hear it. And I just can't get the melody out of my head right now. And that's at my number 5. So now at number 4, I'm just sitting here making the wheels go round and round. Watching the Wheels by John Lennon off of Double Fantasy. Of course, the album that was released right around the time of his untimely death. One of the saddest things that ever happened as far as assassinations go. I mean, I actually remember, and I could be wrong, but my mom has confirmed that it's probably true. When I was only 2.5 years old, I remember her crying and just being distraught and me asking her what was wrong. And she said that her friend died and his name was John, like you. And that just always stuck with me in my subconscious. And, I've always felt this connection to John, not just because of that, but, everybody does. Because, I mean, come on, some of the greatest songs of all time with the Beatles and on his own, like Imagine. But this, I feel, is one of the strongest songs off of Double Fantasy. Just a really kind of singer-songwriter kind of song where he's saying, people think I'm crazy, people think I'm lazy, all these things. But, and then just such a great chorus that is so catchy and melodic. The John Lennon, I think, is one of the best singer-songwriters of all time. And really one of the best vocalists as well. And this is a perfect example of that. And that is just at my number 4. So now at number 3, Another One Bites the Dust by Queen off of their 1980 album, The Game. This is another band that was kind of like at the peak of their powers at this point. I think they had already done maybe the Flash Gordon soundtrack and all these different kinds of things. They had other songs like Who Wants to Live Forever in film. Maybe that came later. I'm not sure, but I'm not a huge Queen fan, but definitely this is one of their greatest songs of all time. I mean, just that bass riff, when it comes in, you're like, oh yeah, ready to put your teeth out. Yeah, get on the dance floor. And also, I mean, it's got kind of like a dancey disco vibe and rhythm. But then on top of it, it really rocks. And of course, the vocals of Freddie Mercury just take it over the top. One of the greatest vocalists of all time. And one of their greatest songs. So that is at my number 3. Now at number 2. Once in a Lifetime by Talking Heads off of their album Remain in Light. This is a song that I remember seeing this on MTV back in the day and thinking like, what is this? Who are these guys? David Byrne with that huge suit and his weird dances with this and like, where did he get these crazy moves? But then also, the more you listen to the song, the less ridiculous it gets when you really listen to the lyrics and you're an adult in life and you're looking at your life and saying, well, how did I get here? Those kind of things are really profound. And then the chorus just has this great catchy melody that makes you want to sing along and dance along. And man, Talking Heads are just one of those bands that I think are really one of the best of their era and of all time for that matter. And this is a perfect example of why. And that's just at my number 2. Now at number 1. Redemption Song by Bob Marley off of his last album, Uprising. This, I believe, is the last song on the album as well. And I mean, what can you say? I mean, Bob Marley, an absolute genius. And this shows that he was not just, this great reggae artist that always put together these great jams. He was also just such a great songwriter. I mean, this is one of those songs that's been covered thousands of times, and nothing beats the original. His vocal on this thing is beautiful. The lyrics are so profound, and I just love it. I mean, it's how I feel about life in general in a song. Emancipate yourselves from mental slavery. Lines like that is just like, brilliant, man. It's poetry, and to think that this was. He was writing this in the throes of cancer when he knew he was going to die. It makes it even that much more profound and just one of the greatest songs ever written. So that's it, guys. My top 5 songs of 1980. Let me know in the comments below what you think. Give me your top 5. If you're so bold, leave me a top 10 or more. I know some of you like to do even more than that. I mean, it was a special year in music history. A lot of things were changing in America. We were going from Carter to Reagan. MTV was kind of already happening or in the midst of happening at that time, 1980. And just so much cool stuff, and there's going to be so much more to come throughout this year. We're going to be doing top 5 songs and top 5 albums of each year leading up to the very best of the 80s at the end of the year. So stay tuned, and if you like this, please subscribe, like. We got top 5s every Friday, album reviews, so much more. Thank you for watching, and as always, Viva la vinyl. So guys, thanks so much for watching. Please like, subscribe, and be sure to ring the bell for notifications so you can always see great quality content like you're seeing on the screen right now. Thank you so much for supporting Johnny Radio, and I'll see you soon.